Hello everyone, welcome to our new video. Our GA4 series is going on. If you want to watch the whole series, you can come to our channel and watch those videos from here. Okay, so in today's lecture, we'll show you how to set up GA4 e-commerce tracking on Shopify using Google Tag. For example, you have an e-commerce store on Shopify and you want to track e-commerce events. Events like view item, add to cart, checkout, view cart, and purchase. Then you can consider watching this video. So this would be a step-by-step process, and I will show you how to track e-commerce event on Shopify using Google Tag from scratch. So without any further delay, let's get started. So I have created a demo Shopify website so that I can show you how to set up GA4 e-commerce tracking on Shopify website. Okay. So additionally, I have also set up a Google Tag Manager account with my website name. You can see over here. And I have also created a GA4 property. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to create a Google Tag Manager account and GA4 property, and you will definitely have an e-commerce store built on Shopify. Okay. So first of all, we need to enable data layer. Okay. So for enabling data layer, we need to go to the admin panel of your site. As I already told you, this is a Shopify CMS. So for going to the admin panel, I'm going to write or I'm going to search for my website, and then I'm going to write /admin. Okay. Then you can see we are in the admin panel of our Shopify site. Okay. So I have created a doc file for enabling data layer on Shopify. Okay. So you can see over here, first of all, we need to put Google Tag Manager header code. Okay. In the header element of our Shopify site. Okay. Then we need to create a snippet. You can name it like this. Okay. Then you need to put this code in the data layer snippet section. Then within the theme liquid file, you need to put this code right before the closing header tag. And then you need to go to the checkout panel. Then you need to provide GTM header code, and you need to paste this code in the additional script section. Okay. So without any further delay, let's implement data layer on our Shopify site. So first of all, I'll go to the online store section. Okay. Just wait a little bit. Then I'm going to click on my theme, and I'll click on this 3-dot option, and I'm going to click on edit code. Okay. Then I'll click on theme.liquid. Then you can see we have an header section available. So I'm going to enter my Google Tag Manager code over here. So I'll remove this code, and I'm going to go to the tag manager, and for getting GTM code, I'm going to click on this section GTM, then ID. So you can see over here we have two codes available here. One is for header and another one is for body. So for the time being, I'm going to copy the header code. Okay. Then I'm going to paste the code over here and click on save. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I'll put the body code as well. Okay. So let's find body. So this is our body portion, and I'm going to copy body code from here and paste it over here in the body's element. Okay, perfect. Then let's go to the documentation, and you can see over here the next thing we need to do is to create a snippet. Okay, so for creating a snippet, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I have an option called snippets, and I'm going to click on add a new snippet. Okay, then I'll name the snippet as GTM data layer. Okay, I'm going to copy it and name the file as GTM data layer. So most probably I have already created a snippet with this name. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one, and I'll add a new snippet and I'm gonna name it as GTM data layer and paste it over here. I'm gonna click on done. Then I'm gonna use this code. Okay. So I'll copy the code from here and paste it in the GTM data layer liquid section. Okay. So I'm gonna click on save. Then if I go to the documentation, then you can see over here, we need to put this code right before the closing header tag. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the theme liquid portion again, and we need to go to the closing header tag. Okay. So this is our closing header tag, and I'm gonna paste this code over here. Okay, perfect. Then we need to go to the checkout section and put a GTM header code, and in the additional script section we need to put this code. Okay, so for going to the checkout section, I'm going to click on exit. Then I'll click on settings, and I'm going to click on checkout. Okay, so I'll remove all the codes from here, and I'll go to the tag manager and copy the header code from here and paste it over here in the additional script section. And I'm going to enter some spaces over here, and I'll go to the doc, and I'm going to click on this link and copy this code from here. So Google Tag Manager code is already inserted. Okay, as I already inserted the Google Tag Manager code, that's why I'm not gonna copy the Google Tag Manager code. Okay, so I'll copy the rest. So I have copied this code. So this is basically a purchase event code. So I'm gonna paste it in the additional script section, and I'm gonna click on save. So data layer and Google Tag Manager has been inserted on our website. Okay. So for checking whether it is working or not, I'm gonna, first of all, I need to click on this submit button, and I'm gonna publish these changes. Okay. Then we'll see whether our data layer and tag manager code is working or not. Okay. So I'll go to the workspace section, and for checking, I'm gonna click on preview section. Then I need to provide my website URL, and I'm gonna click on connect. So you can see over here, tag assistant connected, and we didn't create any events. That's why it is not showing. So I will, for example, view this product. I'm gonna add this product to the cart. I'm gonna click on view cart. I'll click on this checkout button. And I need to provide my email address. Okay. Country, first name, last name, city, chip code. So I'm using a bogus gateway by which you can purchase a product without any cost. So if you want to purchase the product for testing purpose, then you can enable this payment method, which is called bogus gateway. Okay. So I'll give the card number as 1, and expiration date as 225, security code as 121, and I'm going to click on pay now. You can see over here, your order is being processed. Okay. So thank you, ABC. Your order is confirmed. Okay. So I'm gonna You can see our purchase event is working fine. This is our purchase event. Okay, and you can see the data layer. Okay, so this is our data layer, and we will be creating all the data layer variables from this schema. So this is basically a GA4 schema. We are getting this as GA4 schema. Previously, we didn't get this schema, but if you implement this data layer, then you will be able to do everything like GA4 schema. Okay, perfect. Then you can see begin checkout event is also firing, view cart event is also firing, add to cart event is also firing, view item event is also firing. Okay, that means data layer has been working properly, and Google Tag Manager is also working properly. As you can see, Tag Assistant is connected over here. Okay, so let's do the rest work. Okay, so you can see over here, this is a new update of Google Tag. Your Google Analytics GA4 configuration tags are now Google Tag and have gained new capabilities, including setting variables. Your existing measurement has not changed and no action is required. Okay, so I'm going to click on dismiss. So first of all, we'll create all the necessary variables. Then we'll create all the necessary triggers, and at the end we'll create necessary tags. Okay, perfect. So I'll be basically creating 5 events. One is view item, add to cart, initiate checkout, view cart, and purchase. Okay, so you can see this is our GA4 official documentation for e-commerce tracking. So if you want, you can follow this documentation. Okay, so if you see, this is the GA4 schema, e-commerce, currency, value, items. So if I go to data layer section in the purchase event, then you can see e-commerce, transaction ID, value, okay, shipping. Okay, so if I go to the purchase section, so this is basically purchase. So you can see e-commerce, transaction ID, value, tax, shipping, currency, coupon, items. And if you go over here, e-commerce, transaction ID, value, tax, shipping, discount, currency. So everything is working like this. Okay, like this actually. So without wasting any time, let's create all the events. So the first event I'm going to be creating is for view item. Okay, so I'll go to the view item section, and you can see the necessary parameters for setting up view item events are items, value, and currency. So we need to create these 3 data layer variable. Okay, perfect. So first of all, we need to create a Google tag for setting up e-commerce tracking or setting up GA4 event tracking. So if I try to show you, then I need to click on these tags, and I'm going to click on new, and I'll click on tag configuration. And if I click on Google Analytics, then you can see over here, they're suggesting to create Google tag first, then all the GA4 events. So you can see over here, load the Google tag associated with your Google Analytics stream. Okay, so instead of using measurement ID, we need to use Google tag ID. Okay, so actually there is an option called GA4 measurement ID, but it has been replaced with Google tag, and everything is same. Okay, other than this. So I'm going to click on Google tag, and this tag ID is basically stream ID or measurement ID. So for getting measurement ID, I'm going to go to the analytics section, and I'm going to click on admins section, and I'll click on property. Then I'm going to click on property details, property access, data collections and modifications, and I'm going to click on data streams. And I'm going to click on this data stream. Then you can see this is our measurement ID. Okay, so I'm going to copy the measurement ID over here and paste it in the tag ID section. Okay, perfect. and I'll trigger it as all pages. I'm gonna click on save and name it as Google tag for GA4. Okay, I'll click on save. So let's preview whether Google tag is firing for this website or not. So I'm gonna click on preview. And I'm gonna click on continue. Then you can see tags fired. Google tag for GA4 has fired for one time. Okay, that means it is working properly. So I'll click on add to cart, view cart. I'll quickly purchase this product because I need to create all the data layer variables. So I need to make a purchase. Okay. I'm providing all the details. Just wait a little bit. Card number is 1, expiration date is 2/25, security code 121. I'm going to click on pay now. Okay, so for the first event I'm going to be creating is for view item. Okay, just wait a little bit. Let's see whether view item is a view item event is appearing over here. Okay, so I'm going to create all the necessary data layer variables for view item. Okay, so I'll go to the data layer section and you can see over here, this is our GA4 schema for view item event. Okay, so as I already told you, for setting up view item event, we need to create this data layer variable. So one would be for e-commerce item, then e-commerce value, e-commerce currency. Okay, so let's go to the variable section. And I'm going to click on user defined variable and I will name the variable as e-commerce item, and I'm going to click on variable configuration and I'm going to be choosing data layer variable, and in the data layer variable name section I'm going to use it like that, ecommerce.items. So e-commerce is an object and inside e-commerce we have items, so the data layer variable would be like that, e-commerce dot items. If you go to here, then you can see the data layer variable naming sequence is like that, ecommerce.items. So you can either copy it from here, or I would suggest you to create data layer variable from this section. This is more accurate, you know. So I'm going to click on save. Then I'll create another variable for maybe e-commerce value. Okay. So I'm going to copy e-commerce value from here. So you can name this variable as per your requirements. Okay. But make sure you're naming it, you're naming the right portion like this according to this schema, you know, perfect according to this portion. So I'll be choosing data layer variable and e-commerce value. So I'll go to the tag assistant and I'm going to copy e-commerce from here. Then you can see e-commerce is an object and inside e-commerce we have value. So if I write e-commerce dot value, then our data layer variable will be written properly. Okay. So I'm going to copy, I have already copied e-commerce, then I'm going to copy value from here. So I'm going to copy value ecommerce.value. So I'm going to click on save. Then I'll create another data layer variable, and this is most probably for e-commerce currency. So I'm going to copy e-commerce currency from here and name it as e-commerce currency. Again, I'm telling you, you can customize this option, but you cannot customize this portion actually. So you need to collect it from the tag assistant section. So e-commerce.currency, e-commerce. So I have copied e-commerce and I'll copy currency from here. So currency is inside e-commerce object. So I'm going to write it like e-commerce.currency. Okay, perfect. Then I'll click on save and I'll go to the trigger section. So you can see over here, we need these three variables for setting up view item event. Okay, then we are in the trigger section and I'm going to create a new trigger. So trigger name would be view item trigger. Okay, then I'll click on trigger configuration and I'm going to choose custom event from here, and I'll either go to the tag assistant section, or you can copy it from this from here. Okay, so for example, I'm going to copy the event name from here, view underscore item. Okay, so I'm going to paste it over here. Make sure you're copying the exact naming sequence from here. Okay, then I'm going to click on save. Perfect. Then we'll go to the tag section. Okay, so I'm going to create a tag for GA4 view item event, GA4 view item. Okay, I'm going to be choosing tag configuration as Google Analytics GA4 event. Okay, and I need to provide the measurement ID over here. So I'm going to copy the measurement ID from my Google Analytics and paste it over here. And you can see over here, we have got green signal. That means it is working fine. Google tag found in this container. Okay, and I'll name the event as this view item. Okay, so I'm going to copy the event name from here and paste it over here. Okay, perfect. Then we're in the event parameter section. So I'm going to enter some of the parameter name. Okay, so you can see over here, this is the event parameter name. So you need this doc to create these parameter names. Okay, so I'm going to copy the event names or event parameter names from here. Okay, so this is for items. So let's copy the parameter name first, then we'll enter their value. Then I'm going to copy the value from here. Okay, then the last parameter would be currency. Okay, perfect. So we are going to use these three event parameters. Okay, and I need to provide their values as well. So I have already created data layer variables for these three parameters. So I'm going to use them from here. So for using them, you can either press curly braces, double curly braces. Okay, then you will see all the data layer variables will be appearing over here, or you can use this formula, or you can use this plus button. Then you will see all the data layer variables and built-in variables available here. So this is basically for e-commerce items. So I'm going to be choosing e-commerce item, then I'm going to be choosing e-commerce value, then I'm going to choose e-commerce currency. Okay, perfect. Then from the triggering section, I'm going to be trigger it as view item trigger. So I'll click on save. So we have created a tag for GA4 view item event. So let's see whether it is working or not. So for checking, I'm going to click on this preview section. I'll click on continue. Then you can see over here, there is one tag firing, Google tag for GA4. GA4 view item tag has not been fired yet. Okay, So let's view some items and see whether this event is firing or not. Okay, perfect. It is still loading. Let's wait a little bit. You can see over here, GA4 view item tag has fired one time. That means it is working properly. So if I go to the view item section and if I go to the variable section, then you can see e-commerce currency, BDT, e-commerce item. This is our e-commerce item, e-commerce value 800. So 800 BDT, and its currency was BDT. You can see the currency is BDT. Okay. That means everything is working fine. Everything is working properly. Okay, perfect. So let's create another tags or another events. So the next event I'm going to be creating is for add to cart. Okay. So for add to cart, we need these three data layer variables. So if you see, there is no differences between add to cart and view item variables. So e-commerce items, e-commerce value, e-commerce currency. So we need these three variables in the add to cart as well. So if I try to show the GA4 schema for add to cart and view item, then we'll not see any differences. So let's say live. So for example, I'm gonna view this product. I'm gonna add this product to the cart, and this is our view item. And if I go data layer variable section, then you can see this is our data layer schema for view item event. And if I go to the add to cart event, then you will see there is no differences between these two schemas. So if you create or if you copy this tag and modify this tag for add to cart, then our task will be more suitable, or we need to work less if we do that. So let's copy this existing tag. Okay, so for copying it, I'm going to click on this three dot and I'll click on copy, and I'll name this tag as GA4 add to cart. Okay, then we'll be using this measurement ID, and event name would be add to cart. So you can either copy it from here, or if you want, you can copy it from the GA4 official documentation. Okay, so for example, I'm going to copy it from here and paste it over here, and we'll name our event parameters will be remaining same, like items, value, currency. Okay, so I'll be changing the trigger as add to cart trigger. So I didn't create any add to cart trigger. So first of all, I need to create an add to cart trigger. So I'll write it as add to cart trigger, and I'm going to be clicking on trigger configuration, and I'm going to choose custom event and name the event as add to cart. Okay, so I'm going to copy the event name from here and paste it over here. Okay, perfect. I'll click on save. I'm going to click on save again. So let's see whether GA4 add to cart event is firing or not. So for checking, I'm going to click on this preview section. I need to provide my website URL, then I'm going to click on connect. So I'll be choosing one of the products. I'm going to add this product to the cart. Okay, so let's go to the tag assistant, and you can see GA4 add to cart has fired one time. Okay, and if I go to the add to cart variable section, then you can see e-commerce currency as BDT, e-commerce value 1000 BDT, e-commerce item. So everything is working fine. everything is working properly. Okay, so let's create the rest tags. Okay, so the next tag I'm going to be creating is for view cart. Okay, so we need to create these three variables and these three parameters for view cart event. So you can see I have already created these three data layer variables and these three event parameters for view item and add to cart event. So I don't need to create them again. Okay, so what I can do, I can copy the existing tag GA4 add to cart and I can modify the tag. Okay, so for copying, I'm gonna click on this three dot and I'll click on copy and I'll modify the tag as GA4 view cart. Okay, then I'll name the event as view cart and event parameters would be items and their value, e-commerce value, currency, e-commerce currency, and instead of using add to cart trigger, I'm gonna use view cart trigger. So I didn't create any view cart trigger. So first of all, I need to create a view cart trigger. So I'll name the trigger as view cart trigger and I'll be choosing trigger configuration as custom event and I'll provide the event name as view cart and I'm gonna click on save. I'll click on save again. Okay, so let's create the next tag. Okay, so the next tag would be for begin checkout or initiate checkout. Okay, so we can see we need to create data layer variables for e-commerce items value currency coupon. So e-commerce coupon is not supported for this GA4 schema that I am using for this Shopify store. So you can see we have already created these three data layer variables and these three event parameters, so I don't need to create them again. So what I can do, I can create a new trigger and then I can duplicate the tag and modify the tag. Okay, so I'll be creating a new trigger and name the trigger as checkout trigger. Okay, I'm going to be choosing trigger configuration as custom event and I'm going to copy the event name from this section. So I'm going to copy begin checkout from here and name the event as begin checkout. So I'll click on save. I'll go to the tag section and I'm going to copy the view cart tags. Okay. Then I'll modify the name as GA4 checkout. Okay. So the event name would be begin checkout and all the event parameters would be remaining same. And instead of using view cart trigger, I'm gonna be using checkout trigger. Okay, so I'll click on save and we need to create the last trigger and the trigger would be last tag and trigger and the tag and triggers would be for purchase event. So let's go to the purchase event and create this necessary data layer variables. Okay, so we have already created e-commerce items. Okay, so let's go to the data layer section. I'm going to click on view cart. I'll click on checkout. You can either create data layer variables from this section or you can create it from the tag assistant section. So I need to provide my email, country, first name, last name, address, city, postal code. I'm going to save this information and I'll provide the card number as 1, expiration to 25, security code 121, and I'm going to click on pay now. Just wait a little bit, your orders is being processed. Okay, so you can see over here, purchase event has fired, and I'm going to go to the data layer section. Okay, then you can create data layer variables from this section. So as I already told you, I have created a data layer variable for e-commerce items. So I need to create e-commerce transaction ID. I have already created data layer variable for e-commerce value. I need to create a data layer variable for tax, shipping, currency. I have already created. I need to create a variable for coupon. Okay, so let's create all the necessary variables for purchase event. Okay. So I'm going to go to the variable section, and from variable, I'll go to the user defined variable, and I'll click on new, and I'll name the variable as e-commerce transaction ID. So you can name it as per your requirements. Then I'll choose variable configuration, and I'm going to be choosing data layer variable, and I'll copy e-commerce. Then you can see transaction ID is inside e-commerce object. So I'm going to put a dot, then e-commerce dot transaction ID. And if you go to here, then you can see e-commerce dot transaction ID. So you can either copy it from here, or you can copy it from tag assistant section. So I'm going to click on save. Then I'll create another data layer variable for e-commerce tax. So I have already created a data layer variable for e-commerce currency, so I don't need to create it again. Okay, so I'll name it as e-commerce tag, and I'm going to be choosing data layer variable, and I'll give data layer variable name as e-commerce dot tax. Then I'll click on save. The next variable I'm going to create is for e-commerce shipping. So I'm going to copy this name from here and name it as e-commerce shipping, and I'm going to be choosing data layer variable, and I'll copy e-commerce from here. Then, as you know, shipping is inside e-commerce object, so I need to provide a dot. That's what I did. And I'm going to provide e-commerce dot shipping. I'll click on save. Then I have already created a variable for e-commerce currency. Let's see whether we have coupon or not. So yeah, we have coupon. Okay, so I'm going to create another data layer variable. So this would be our last data layer variable. So I'm going to copy the data layer variable name from here. So I'll name it as e-commerce coupon, and I'm going to be choosing variable configuration as data layer variable. Then you can either copy it from here, or if you go to the tag assistant section, you can take it like e-commerce dot coupon. Okay, perfect. Then I'll click on save, and I'll go to the trigger section, and I'll create a trigger for purchase event. So I'll click on new and name the trigger as purchase trigger, and I'm going to choose trigger configuration as custom event, and I'll name the event as purchase. Okay, so I'm going to copy the exact naming sequence from here and paste it over here. Okay, perfect. Then I'll go to the tag section, and I'm going to create a new tag for GA4 purchase. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to be choosing tag configuration as Google Analytics GA4 event. I need to provide the measurement ID. So I'm going to copy the measurement ID from here, and paste it over here again. So you can see over here Google tag found in this container, and I will name the event as purchase. So I'm going to copy the event name from here, and I'll go to the event parameter section, and I'm going to add the necessary parameters for purchase event. Okay. So this is the recommended parameters for purchase event. So I'm going to enter them one by one. So the first one is items, then transaction ID. I'll enter their value gradually. Okay. I'll copy value from here. Then I'm going to copy tax. Then I'll be copying shipping. Then I'm going to copy currency from here. And at the end, I'm going to copy coupon. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to enter their values. Okay. So e-commerce items is for items. Then I'm going to search for transaction ID, e-commerce transaction ID. Then e-commerce value. Then e-commerce tracks. Then for shipping, I'm going to search for e-commerce shipping. For currency, I'm going to be finding for e-commerce currency. And at last, we are going to be searching for e-commerce coupon. Okay, perfect. So we'll go to the trigger section, and we're going to be choosing purchase trigger. So I'm going to click on save, and I'll click on submit and publish. Then I'm going to click on workspace. I'll click on preview section. Let's see whether everything is working or not. So I'm gonna give this product. I'll add this product to the cart. I'm gonna click on view cart. I'll click on checkout button. I'm gonna enter my billing info or shipping info. Card number is 1, expiration date 2/25, security code 121, and I'm gonna click on pay now. Let's go to the tag assistant and see. Or somehow these tags are not firing. So let's try it again. Okay. I'm gonna click on preview section. I'll click on connect. I'll view this product. Let's see whether view item event has fired or not. So you can see view item event has fired. Then I'm gonna click on add to cart. Let's see add to cart event is fired or not. So add to cart event has fired. Let's click on view cart. So view cart event is firing. Let's click on checkout. And you can see checkout event has fired. And let's purchase the product. Okay, so I'm gonna click on pay now. You can see purchase event has also fired. So everything is working fine. Everything is working properly. If I go to the purchase variable section, then you can see commerce coupon. So we don't have any coupon. E-commerce currency, BDT, commerce items, commerce shipping. We don't have any shipping. Commerce tax, this mouse, commerce transaction ID, commerce value, event is purchase. So everything is working fine. Everything is working properly. So this is how you can set up GA4 e-commerce tracking on Shopify website using the updated Google tag. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you have liked our video. If you like our video, then you can subscribe our channel, follow our page. You have a good day.